The Festival of the Resurrection, of course, is where Christianity really hits the road. This is the reason that we have the Christian church today as the greatest phenomenon that's ever happened on the planet. If Jesus didn't rise from the dead, well, then as St. Paul says, all this is spinning our wheels, it's all useless, and why did we ever become Christians in the first place? But this is where we have the ultimate miracle of any of the miracles that take place. If we were going to rate Jesus' miracles, we would say one of the most innocent and probably least important is when he provides party supplies. You recall at the wedding feast of Cana. But I think the ultimate is raising somebody from the dead, and it happened to Jesus himself. As many of you know, what I love to do in my own research is to compare sacred with secular, to see if there's any fallout from the sacred sources, the Holy Scriptures, in terms of the secular culture, historical records, archaeological evidence. And I find again and again there's beautiful correlation when we compare sacred and secular. Okay, let's now apply that to the resurrection phenomenon itself. Is there anything out there which will tend to support the biblical record that in fact Jesus did overcome the grave and come back to life? There's a lot of material out there. Is there any absolutely categorical material to prove that Jesus rose from the dead? No, I don't have it. If I did have it, I would publish it and have a bestseller for the next 10,000 years, and the whole world would go Christian. Now, wouldn't that be fun? In fact, sometimes I wonder why God didn't do it that way. How come he didn't give us total proof, well, for his own existence, in addition to Jesus rising from the dead? Put the case that he had. Shall we try that? I think then we would celebrate Easter with all the joy and verve that we now devote to Columbus Day. Now, you know, if you're Italian, Mamma Mia, one of our boys did it. Okay. I come from German background, and so I usually celebrate Columbus Day by asking, why are the banks closed? But that's no question that Columbus did his thing. But that's the point. We would regard the resurrection just as we do other, and some people regard them as dry facts of history. We wouldn't invest ourselves. So God, the great psychiatrist who wired us all, wanted us also to make it our own through faith. This is why we have this marvelous combination of both faith and proofs for the resurrection. Listen to the pastor's sermon this Sunday, and you will understand the outside proofs. And there are many proofs that Jesus defeated death. The personality transformation of the apostles, the change of the celebration of the weekly worship from Saturday to Sunday, the conversion of the priests, and there are a dozen others. But in terms of absolute categorical historical proof, no. If we had it, that would leave no room for faith. However, there's another phenomenon that happened on Easter Sunday morning, and that's the one that I tried to bring out in my book, In the Fullness of Time. There's this, well, I had really been the first professor of ancient history, I think, to absolutely state that we have categorical proof that the tomb was empty in any case. Now that's the one everybody overlooks. And I'm not trying to say that an empty tomb proves a resurrection, but I'm saying you can't have a decent resurrection without the tomb being empty as its first symptom. And we can prove the tomb was empty. It would take too long to do that on this occasion, but believe me, we do have two very powerful proofs, and indeed I'm gratified to see that scholars across the world are agreeing that we do have one categorical proof from ancient history, and that is there is a missing body problem on Easter Sunday morning. For those who aren't Christians, it's hard to explain the missing body. For those who are Christians, not a problem at all. Happy Easter.